Hi everyone, how are you doing? I am Omar and this is
Kadian.
And we are the
Wedderburns.
Yes, welcome to our first episode of REALationship Talk. The channel, the program, the discussion where we sit and talk about real issues, real
solutions,
real talk. Right. And today we want to ask you the question. We want you to leave your comment down here. I think it's here, right? Definitely.
I hope so.
It's not up there. No, it's here.
I think it's down here.
No, it's over there.
Oh, it might be over there.
Right here. Right. When we're novices, please help us.
That's what happens.
All right. But definitely, leave your comment. And today's topic, today's discussion, we want to ask them the question, how did you know that your partner was the one? Can you tell before? If so, please give us your input. We will tell our story, how we were confident that, at least I was confident that she was the one. I don't know if she's confident, but we're together, so that could be a testament that, I was the one. So we share our stories as to how we know. And also, is it possible to tell that someone is the one? Others out there may think that you can't tell, and they think it's a gamble. But what do you say on it?
I personally think you can in some instances. There's some theories out there that there's love at first sight. So you just see the person and instantly you know that that's the one. However, that wasn't quite the case for us. For me, it was more of there were certain attributes and certain things that I was looking for. And I found it pretty much in my friend. We'll talk a little bit more about that in another series, but I'm gonna build on that.
All right then. Well, I just want to get straight to the point.
Go on.
How did you know that I was the one? What signs did I give, or what characteristics, traits, personalities, attributes that you see in me, and how did you know? Pretty much, just tell me.
There were definitely some attributes that you pretty much displayed that I was drawn to, and that's your personality first and foremost. Very jovial. Yes. I don't know who knows Omar, literally. Who knows Omar and doesn't take him as a really good friend. He's always, cracking jokes. He's just humorous. Of course, intelligent, very caring. From a very early age, I knew that he, has some of the best attributes that a husband, or a woman would be looking for in a husband. And that which is kind, very genuine, generous, and
keep talking. All right, keep talking. Yeah.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Keep talking.
Yes, and definitely he's a people person. There are lots that I could go on. The list is absolutely endless, and I know his head is like
so basically all of those kind stuff that you just listed a while ago,
you are indeed a gentleman, baby.
Attracted you towards me, and you just fell in love with that, right?
Not straight away. Over time. It took years, 20 odd years before I recognized that the person that was meant for me was right in front of me all along. And it was a challenge, I must say.
So you knew I was the one in the sense that, this is the man that I want to be with. This is the man I want to marry. This is the one that I want to marry. But when did you know I was the one? See, she's dancing around the thing, I'm asking her the question and she's not answering me. When did you know I was the one? What alarm went off that says The right one, the right one, the right one. Here he is. Because I'm going to give you my story, so I need to.
I mean, you were always there as a friend. So first and foremost, that for me was the foundation of our relationship. So we knew each other beforehand. I think when the bells went off, started ringing, was when it came to the reality that, wait, having that conversation, you know what conversation we're talking about. That initial
I don't know. Which one?
That initial conversation where when you called.
Oh, when I called. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thinking that connecting conversation, the potential connecting
conversation.
Okay.
Yes.
All
so
right.
Before then,
we will tell you more about that as we go along. All right. Yes.
So before we had that initial conversation, my wildest imagination when I thought that, I'd be literally married now to my best friend of 28 years. Sorry, I'm kind of shortchanging you there, -3. But yeah, but after that, it took me a long while. I mean, I knew straight away that you had those attributes. I always looked up to you as a friend. I always looked up to you as a confidant, someone who I can rely on, someone who I can talk to. So I know that all the attributes were there. And to be quite frank, I've always said it. You and my brother, my eldest brother, that is, display certain attributes that I was like, you make the perfect husband for any woman. So I've always thought that. So yeah, I had no doubt, let's say, this time around.
All right. All of that is good. I like that. Mm-hmm. Still, I don't get my answer. When did you know I was the one?
Let me try and see. I knew straight away, babes, from the minute you told me, from the minute, we had that discussion, I knew that you were indeed the one. Oh, thank you so much, baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mercy Isa. Yeah, I knew that definitely you were indeed the one. Straight away, from the moment you told me, I had no reservation, apart from a little concern I had as it relates to, I'd say, ethics more than anything else. Yeah. So yeah, I had no question. The minute you popped the question to me, I had no reservation, no doubt, simply because you were always, or you exhibit the traits and the characteristics that I've always prayed for: a godly man, first and foremost. That's one thing I've always wanted: someone who's committed to God and to me, of course. And I know you as that person. You're very, dedicated. Another thing that I look for in a person is, are we able to hold a conversation? Are we able to laugh? Are we able to be real? And for me, I think that matters. Can I be real with you? Can I share with you my faults? Can I share with you my mishaps? Can I share with you my problems? Can I share with you, my deepest fear? And I'm able to do that with you and not feel judged. Yeah.
So that's how you know.
I could go on and on and on and
Please
on and on.
Comment in, give your views in the comment section if she has answered the question that I asked her, because I don't think she has totally answered the question. I think she's dancing around the bush. But I want
you want to start us off then? Why don't you go ahead and then I'll just. How did you know that I was the one? Come on, tell us, Bishop.
Well, how did I know that she was the one?
Pause.
I will tell you in a while. All right. So how did I know she is the one? She emphasized is. right? Because she still is, right? She still is the one.
Not in the past tense.
We're not in the past
Continuous.
tense. She is the one. How did I know she is the one? Well, okay, first and foremost, before I get there, let me work my way up. All right. Now, some people will think that it is very hard to tell or to identify the one. I don't believe it is very difficult in identifying, the one. But there are some traits that I think is very important for us to look for. Some will say red flags, and those identifiers are there to say run. And there are some white flags, as my wife put it, that say, all right, there is potential, right? So, but I want to just to present the 4 C's that I say, in order to identifying if he or she is the one. Here are some C's that I want to present to you. And the first I want to bring to you is compatibility. Compatibility. Now, I like to say the word compatibility.
Ooh,
yes.
Compatibility.
So the word is compatibility.
Yeah,
I like compatibility. So, it's the ability to be compact. So it's the ability to be attached. No, right. So if you find that there is this natural stickability between you and the person, then, that is a good sign. Now, note here, I say compatibility or compatibility, which is the right word, and not chemistry, because I don't believe compatibility is chemistry.
Can you develop on that? Why would you say that?
Chemistry
is...
Well, let me say this, because you can have chemistry, don't necessarily mean that you're compatible. The chemistry meaning that you just are able to kick it off. It could be a sexual chemistry, it could be a social chemistry, it could be a professional chemistry, not necessarily a marital chemistry, right? So that's where I'm coming from. So for me, compatibility has to be, we are able to be attached, the ability to attach even in a marital relationship. And so regardless of whatever comes, we're able to stick together. So compatibility is outside of looks and we having our differences, right? But we are able to stick together regardless of our differences. So I think compatibility or compactability is a key flag to look for, an indicator. Yes.
Another one. What's the other one?
Compromise.
Okay.
And compromise. One of these days,
a lot of us find it difficult to compromise, I must say, especially if you're coming out of a lengthy single lifestyle. It's very, very difficult to compromise your space, to compromise listen, a little everything here, because when you become married, it's all or nothing, I believe.
Definitely.
Yeah, you want to expand upon that a little bit more?
Definitely. And just to add to the point you raised, if there is no compromise in the relationship, it ultimately, they mean the relationship ultimately is going to have a serious strain. If there is no balance in the relationship as well, then it may just tip to one side, because if you are doing all the compromising and I am not, then
it should be shared. It should be equal.
The scale is not balanced, right? So that's why compromise, I believe, is important. So if you are in a relationship with someone, or if you're in a dating stage and you see that not working, bam, bam, red flag.
Or the person isn't willing to compromise or to meet you halfway.
And watch this now, because I want you to understand that compromise, because what I noticed is that a lot of people, honey, they like to demand compromise, but they don't want to give compromise. All right?
I like that. Can you repeat that for me,
They like to demand it, but they don't like to give it.
Wow.
All right? So it is compromise in the relationship when it has to be given. Right?
But they don't like to give.
No, rather, let me rephrase. It is compromise when it has to be received.
Ooh.
Right? But it's not compromise when they have to give it.
Wow.
Right? And so this I believe is an issue in a lot of relationship, because
it causes a lot of breakdown as well, baby.
It does.
Yeah.
So I did some studies and I realized that the word compromise can be either a noun
or a verb. Yes.
Right.
Yes,
so either one of the two can be either a noun or a verb. So you notice that in the relationship, when the one who reminds us the noun, right, but then they are not given the verb of compromise.
So the noun is always demanding the verb, the action to be done. By that one individual, but they're not able to act.
So they say, oh, there's no compromise in this relationship. This relationship is dead because there's no compromise. But yet still they are not giving the action of what compromising is. So if you're in a relationship and I believe and you're taking from someone and you're not giving back to anyone, then it certainly is gonna create a strain in the relationship. My third point I want to bring is compassion. Compassion. Say compassion, baby.
Compassion.
Yeah.
Can you type compassion? Type compassion in the chat for us, please. Compassion.
All right.
I'm looking forward to hearing this one.
All right. So compassion is a selfless act. All right. When someone say they are compassionate, they are intimating that they are selfless, and I do believe compassion does say that. And then again, look at the word compassion. Right? Is shortened for compact. Passion. So passion coming together and compact. And I say compassion, and not gonna say much, but for me,
to do with a lot of emotionalism, isn't it? And empathy. Could you not say?
Yes, but not in this context. I won't use in this context. I'm talking about the marital context and the relationship and the feelings and the emotions, but more emotions on a love intimate level. So the compassion there for me is the ability to understand each other. So how put this way, I've often said that 1 + 1 equals 1, because in God the God says the two shall become one. So it is 1 + 1 equals 1. Okay, so it's not 1 + 1 equals 2, because 2 then means that it is divided. So it's 1 + 1 equals 1.
Can we talk about that one though? Because some people believe that 1 + 1 equals 1, but it's 50-50. So it's 50-50 in a relationship. Can you tackle that?
No. It can't be that. It can't be. So it's not half plus half. Right? Because if it's 50 + 50, then it will be half plus half, or 0.5 plus 0.5. Right? It did not say that. It says 1 + 1. God says the two, meaning you and me, 1 + 1 becomes 1. All right? So it's 1 + 1. So I don't want to hear, the narrative, my other half.
Ooh.
Oh, somebody's upset now. Somebody's upset now.
And what would you use to replace
my other whole? Because it's 1 + 1. So it is I + I equal I. You understand me? Not me.
Copy.
You understand me?
Roger.
So we are in this relationship together. So it's a compact relationship.
Honey, I really like that, because I see a lot of relationship really hurting because they become selfish in that relationship and not think about the other person. I think that's something that I've taken on board, going into this marriage, that I ought to, put myself in your position whenever you're faced with anything, and vice versa. And that is a high level of compassion, I must say.
That's right.
Yeah.
Intense love coming together in the marriage. And if there is no togetherness in the marriage, in fact, if the signs are there that he or she is unwilling to come together during the courtship, then chances are you're going to find that unwillingness in the relationship, in the marital relationship. All right. So if the sign is there that your partner is unwilling to come together or to agree on a situation, and agree there don't necessarily means the affirmative, but they can come to a compromise, or a final decision, then that for me says a lot that there will be issue in the relationship, and that for me, expresses what compassion means. Again, I say coming together. Now, earlier I emphasized on the fact that it's 1 + 1 equals 1. Right. So there is no I in the relationship, and if there is I, it is I and I equal I. Right? Okay. Yeah. So we want to keep it like that. Okay, so don't see just yourself. So it's an act that is selfish. Now, within a relationship, you ought to be selfless.
Selfish or selfless?
No, it's an act being selfish. If you think about yourself, it's a selfish act. But if I'm thinking about you, then it becomes selfless. Because in the relationship, because you and I, we are one. If I hurt you, then technically I'm hurting myself.
Yeah, indeed.
And so if I am really a selfless individual in this relationship, then hurting you, I must see that I'm hurting myself.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so we must think about the other partner. Think, how would Kadian feel about this? So I have to stop and think about her. And because we are selfless, and it is reciprocated, you are looking out for me, I'm looking out for you. You are willing to step back for me, I'm willing to step back for you. It becomes natural and easy for us to share that compassion. Again, coming together, passion, intense love. So we are able to attach that intense love together. And so I won't cheat. I should not, will not, must not hurt her, because I would not beat up on myself.
Wow.
I wouldn't abuse myself. I would not kill myself. I would not strangle myself.
That's so true.
So doing that to her is exactly, in the eyes of God, what I am doing to myself. And then you talk about, baby, I love you. Love you.
Oh God.
No, that's a lie. That demons need to be casted out.
What you said was, so deep, and I think, a lot of individuals who are going into relationship or courting, preparing for marriage, it's very important to, look for those red flags, because if he or she isn't willing to compromise and to be compassionate towards you, then, definitely that's a red flag. That's a no-no. Right? That's definite no-no.
All right. The final C.
Yes.
And before I answer your question, how did I know?
Yes.
All right. Final C, communication. Yes, communication. So listen. So
that for me is very important. It's like the foundation.
Yeah.
That is the foundation of any relationship. Yeah.
But I'm not coming from the regular stereotypical communication that you hear people talk about. I want to take a spin to it.
With us now.
All right, yeah, take a spin to it.
Yeah.
No. Everything I've said before, compatibility, compromise, and compassion, they are all benchmarked, or the foundation of all of those three is communication. All right. Now, communication is just more than talk, because you have bodily communication, you have physical communication, you have, body language, stuff like those. Those are communication, right? And I believe that it must be a composite of all of that. But you can't have effective communication without understanding. And so don't look at communication in the sense that, you're talking. If you're talking and the other person doesn't understand you, that's not communication.
Confusion.
There you go. If you're talking and the other person is not listening, some people hear, but they don't listen. That's not communication at all. If you are afraid to express your vulnerability or express your feelings, that's not communication at all.
Wow.
If you are insecure and you are unwilling to state that, hey, I'm insecure, and as a result of your insecurity, it affects the communication. That's not proper communication at all.
That means you're not being real. You're not being yourself.
Yes. So communication is not verbal only. It's a lot of things. So if you see all of these signs that I've just listed out, early on in the relationship, the courtship, then chances are it may not change in the marriage. So you must now decide, can I live with this person? Now take my advice. Don't run. All right? You cannot change anyone at all.
Listen, I've learned the hard way. You can never, ever change anyone. It doesn't matter how you go into a relationship with a big heart thinking, oh, you can see all the good in this individual, in this person, and you just think that you're whatever God's placed inside of you, or you've got inside of you as a kind, genuine individual. You cannot change anyone, not even your children. Can I just say that? And we've got children of our own, and if they make up their minds to do certain things, we cannot change their minds. So don't go out there thinking you can actually change a man's or a woman's view or perspective or the way they see things. It's either you agree with them, come to a compromise as it relates to their opinions on whatever issues you are discussing, but definitely you won't be changing their mind. You can't do it.
Or you can agree to disagree, but I foresee that will be big problems
in the future, down the line,
because I may get too biblical in saying this, but there's a scripture that tells us that that says rather, what is it? Lord, remember me, honey. I can't remember. It said, "Be not unequally yoked." No, we know what it means, right? But if someone has a totally different worldview from the worldview that I or you may hold, yes,
spells trouble.
It's gonna be trouble.
It doesn't matter how you try to make it work or see from their point of view. It's a big mismatch.
There's gonna be trouble. But then some people let it work, but they let it work because they choose to let it work. But deep down, I know if they're like me,
there's still an issue. If you speak to any couple that's made that compromise as it relates to the scripture being unequally yoked, they will honestly tell you that there are challenges, ongoing challenges.
Yeah. So please, communication. It is a key component in any relationship, and it's not just limited to the intimate relationship. You know, it's professional as well, social. You know, so it's broad. You know, so it is important
it impacts
to have
on
that.
everything, because I believe that communication, as we said, is the foundation of any relationship. So before you actually get into any form of relationship, you should be discussing your future plans, your goals, your ambition, your likes, your dislikes, all of that. Yeah, should be. Yes, so whenever you're going into any form of relationship, your future goals, your future plans, your aspiration, your ambition, all of those need to be discussed. And I mean, we see where a lot of relationship has fallen short, because lots of things weren't discussed in the initial courtship period. And I think, yeah, definitely you talk about everything. I mean, when we just started talking, communication was key. And a lot of people who have pretty much done the whole courtship, that that's the right one. After that right moment, you do have a lot of, conversations that goes on for hours, right, babes?
Oh, yes.
Hours, just talking about our likes or dislikes, food, music, things we like to do. I mean, we've been friends for, 28 years, and I didn't even know that he could cook. I didn't know he was such a good cook. Listen, he is, you guys, you're gonna have to see this, yeah. He is an absolute, listen, I grew up with him. I didn't know he could cook. So that's something and even when he was telling me, oh, I can cook this dish, I can cook that, I was like, I didn't know he was a cook or a good cook, and so from talking, I'm getting to learn a lot more about him. So yes, definitely communication, compassion, compatibility, and what's the other one? Compromise. Yeah, those 4 C's. Yes, definitely. Right. I like to put commitment in there, but what were you saying about that? It comes on there.
I mean, commitment is I personally, I just believe that every other word you can find will come from these 4. So I can't see compassion without commitment. You understand?
Compromise without commitment.
Yeah, because you have to commit yourself to
all of the above.
Exactly.
Yeah, the 4 C's.
So I just see it as a part of it all. So
okay.
Yeah. But now to answer your question, how did I know that?
Yes, I'm waiting.
You are the one. How did I know that you are the one? Huh?
I want you to tell me. I want you to tell our viewers.
That you are the one. She is the one enough. How did I know? Well, the truth be told, she her prerequisite, or at least the prerequisite that I was looking for, she ticked all the boxes.
Wow.
Yes, and the prerequisite for me are the 4 C's that I've given you. Those were my C's that I was looking for. Compromise. So even as friends, we had that level of relationship, able to compromise. And we had many disagreements, and we still have disagreements to this day. But guess what? We don't allow our disagreements for us to have a fight. Sometimes we laugh. Sometimes we play over our disagreement, and we make it humorous over our disagreement. So it's not a bother at all. In fact, I'm always winning. I'm always winning anyway.
He likes to win, so I just allow him to win.
I'm always winning anyway. So it's only natural that she follows suit, and agree with me. But it's never that. We always, so we have those little stuff, and there are perhaps also issues where in terms of strong worldview, she has a strong worldview, I have my strong worldview, and we may not see eye to eye.
Not all the time,
but the thing is that what I try to do is that we try to understand, and I think I you admitted to me recently that you're learning that from me, because how I reason is that I look at every angle.
Yeah.
So even if you come in with something I disagree with, I will embrace and I will see it from your position and I will give you that platform.
Yeah.
But I also believe that it is also your responsibility to give me that platform as well to expound. And so with that, I can understand and relate. So we have that level of communication and discussion. So that was something that was, established on early in our relationship. As in compromising, also we communicated. She's a compassionate person, by nature, by personality. She's just vivacious, effervescent, just that sweet soul. And I knew that would continue in a relationship. So I'm like, okay, tick, that's 3 out of 3. Let me see if the 4th box is going to tick, and that will be compatibility. Now that was a little bit risky, because the only way to find out really if we're going to be compact is actually in a relationship. So I had to establish a relationship to see if that would be the case. And so when we decided to move from friendship to relationship, that will be another episode. When we tell you how we moved from friendship to relationship. That was like the hardest thing to ever do.
It was a challenge.
But you got to watch the other episode. We'll tell you about that one.
Intriguing.
Yes, very intriguing. So that is how I went in, honey, and I was there, and we see that, we could, I'm like, I could work with this girl. I think I could work with this girl. I know I have my hang-ups, I have my issue. I'm not easy to live with and easy to deal with.
I think you knew all my faults.
Well, we both knew our imperfections and our, because we didn't hide anything. That's the next thing. Do not hide anything.
Yeah.
If you're dating out there, put everything on the table. That's the next stuff we're going to talk about.
Yeah, but some people are afraid to put everything on the table because, you might be dating this person. At what stage do you put everything on the table?
I think at the early stage, not necessarily the beginning. But
definitely not.
But at the early stage of the relationship, you have to put everything on the table. And I think I think putting things on the table is not only for yourself, but putting things on the table is also for the individual, because you don't want to waste them time thinking that they thinking that there is potential, and then something isn't there. So just put everything on the table so that you just know whether to continue this thing or not. We have been friends, so we have always been open, and we share our weaknesses, some stuff that we don't even share with other people, and also I believe it helps too. It's also part of communication too as well. When I'm talking much, people, so many times.
That's okay.
When you can have accountability partner, and when your accountability partner is your spouse. Oh no, Mark, I do believe that there are some things you can't tell your spouse. They will go berserk. But I do believe when you can have your spouse as your accountability partner, it keeps you in line, it keeps you in check. Trust me, it does.
Honey, before we close off on this, the 4th season, things like that, I really think we need to focus or speak a little bit about appearance, because these, we might find someone who is compassionate, who's able to compromise and everything else, but you're not physically attracted to them. How does that work? Physical appearance is ultimately.
Well, that's what we talk about with compatibility.
Okay, so in terms of the stickability and the compatibility, incorporates the physical appearance of the individual.
Yeah, because I mean, remember the stickability. Because you see, compatibility, right, is not necessarily chemistry. That's what I said earlier. It's not necessarily chemistry because the person may not physically.
I just wanted to clarify.
Physically, quotient,
okay.
well put together, right? But there's something about him or her that draws you, so that there's this, attachment. This, you're attracted to his or her intellect, or you could be like, okay, it's not the guy that I am desiring. He has a little teapot. And his airline is receding, but he has nice qualities, and he's such a gentleman, nice personality, beautiful smile. So okay, she may not be a hourglass, but she's she looks close to one, and you and you want let's be real. This is relationship talk. Yes, relationship talk. Relationship talk. So we gotta make
real issues, real solutions, and real talk.
All right. So that's how I knew that she don't say she was, she don't say she is. Right? She is the one.
Always will be.
All right. She is the one, continuously being the one, and will never change. All right. So that's our experience. We'd like to know what's your experience, what's your views. How did you know that your spouse, husband, wife is
the one?
And if, let me remove the if clause. All right. Let me ask a question. Does being the one, I think we can set this. Leave this here for next week. Being the one, does that mean they won't irritate you? Does that mean that they won't annoy you? And maybe get you to the place where you start to reconsider, was he really the one? Was she really the one? After they start to annoy you?
Because they have this saying in Jamaica, see me and come live with me is what? Two different things. Right? So you have to add that reality into this conversation as well.
But if they are the one, it shouldn't change. Nothing should change. Because the reality is that even though we are 1 + 1, you understand me, they are two different personalities that we are working for the two personalities to become one.
Yeah.
Not half + half, but 1 + 1. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah. We've come to the end.
We've come to the end
of our very first.
So the first episode, and our first time on this YouTube channel, right? So hey, listen, man, leave good comments, leave good comments down here. So now we know this YouTube thing go, some people can leave some nasty comments, right? We do not want the nasty comments. All right. Now there's a thing that them normally say when they do this thing. Them say what? Subscribe, share,
subscribe, and hit the notification button.
And notification button or a bell?
Bell.
Or bell. All right.
See, we're novices.
Yeah, but that thing there, what I'm saying, must do. Don't worry, we're learning as we go along. All right, and by the 3rd, 4th episode, we become masters and pros. All right, thank you guys for sticking in with myself and
Cadian,
my beautiful wife,
my handsome husband.
Of course. Yes. Chit chat with us and let us know. And if you think on our first episode, if there are areas that we need to improve on,
give us some advice.
Give us some advice. Please. This is still trial and error period. Yeah. So help us out. Okay.
Or if there are other issues concerning the 4Cs and knowing whether he or she is or was the one, and what about those who knew that he or she was the one but the opportunity has gone? Yeah, but if
We told me not to say was.
yeah, but was meaning they'd met their life partner, but because of their own, insecurities and things like that.
Oh, see that?
Yeah.
Good point. That's enough.
Yeah.
Good point. That
Yeah.
a lot
And
of
then they're
us,
suffering.
a lot of us meet the one and you run them.
Yeah.
You chase them away. Think about it.
Without ticklets.
And you're saying, Lord, where's the one? The Lord send the one come long time. Or maybe he just walk your way or she may come by your way. And you just turn them away.
Yes, because of our ticklets, maybe. Because a lot of us have some, he has to be this, he has to do that, he has to, and because the right one may have come along, and because you're so busy, looking for what you envision and not really the right person with the right characteristics and everything, you've missed that one.
Wow. Powerful.
Wow. Can you share that with us if you've missed the one?
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Lovely.
Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you spending some time with us. We are the Wedderburns again. Please, I repeat, subscribe, share,
And
click the notification bell. Yes.
And also, just to let you know, you can find us on www.wedderburnministry.com.
Say it again. Say it
www.wedderburnministry.com. And it's www.wedderburnministry.com. Or you can find us on YouTube. Just type in The Wedderburns. So it's THE space and it's WEDDERBURNS. The Wedderburns.
Okay, guys. So have a wonderful day. Bye.